that silences victims of abuse one way or another. Regarding childhood sexual abuse, we in the Orthodox world say, this kind of thing doesn't happen in the Jewish community, only out there in the secular world. But that isn't true. So then we say, well, yes, it happens in the Jewish world, but it's in the Haredi and Yeshivish communities, so it's not our problem. That isn't true either. So finally we admit, yes, it happens in the modern Orthodox community, but in someone else's family. But the truth is that 3/4 of reported cases of child abuse are committed by family members. For girls in particular, about 50% of perpetrators are family members. So all of our discussions about alerting secular authorities is moot, because most girls would never report a family member and risk wrecking their families. Even tonight, right here, and in all of the other venues where we discuss sexual abuse, the brave and courageous men, and they are mostly men, speak out against the Rebbe, the counselor, the outsider who molested them. The women are silent because the majority of us were sexually abused by a family member or more than one, and we feel guilty for betraying a family that long ago betrayed us. The women are silent, not because more boys are sexually abused than girls, because that's simply not true, but because a less than perfect family is better than none at all. We are silent because we have more to lose. In the midst of a shidduch crisis, we wonder, who would choose a damaged girl? So look around you for a moment. You are either looking at someone who has experienced sexual abuse herself, or has a relative or a friend that has been sexually abused. This is not someone else's problem. If it takes a village to raise a child, then it will take the entire community to protect all of our children, because sexual abuse is that pervasive. The statistics that 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys is abused is terrifying. It is mind-boggling that 10 years after the Lanner scandal, our community still has no chain of reaction in place to deal with a child who has been abused. We are still arguing about whether one is allowed to report sexual abuse to the secular authorities or not. And we cannot get rabbinic consensus on this issue, even in our own modern Orthodox community. In 10 years, there has been little progress, and that is shameful. Our culture promotes silence because we believe we are better, and Am Segula, and Or Lagoyim, and we need to get over ourselves. The truth is that we are Kechol Hagoyim. We will succeed in eradicating sexual abuse when we value our children's safety more than our own reputation. It is time to wake up from the trance that lulls us into the false belief that there is shalom in our community. Omrim shalom, shalom. Ve'ein shalom, says Yirmiyahu. Shalom comes when we acknowledge evil and set it right. To my way of thinking, if an Orthodox child molester ends up sharing a prison cell with a violent man of a different race and color who might harm him, he is getting midah keneged midah. The fear and helplessness that he inflicted on a child is now visited upon him. Religious communities in particular educate women to be selfless, submissive, and soft-spoken. As Orthodox Jews, we value kol kvoda b'ha'melech pnima. We value Sarah, who was hine ba'oda, and we are far less kind to Dinah, about whom the Torah says, Vateitzei Dinah. She was the Yatzanis, so I mean, what do you expect? And so it's not surprising that when teenage girls are abused, they are frequently asked, what they did to encourage the attack. Girls are asked what they were wearing. Was their skirt or pants or shirt too tight? The ugly assumption is that a female victim has somehow asked for it. We treat abuse and rape as if they were self-inflicted wounds, and we blame the victim. But the reality is that most female victims of abuse are just 9 years old. So please, let's refrain from victimizing the victim. And let's be crystal clear. It is never the child's fault. Girls are not responsible if they are abused, molested, or raped. Ever. Our Reformed girls who have been harassed, stalked, molested, and raped need female halakhic authorities sitting at the dais alongside the men. These women must have an equal voice in determining how we deal with sexual abuse in our community. It seems to me that many of our rabbanim are more concerned with their institution's image than with the victim's well-being. We must empower our yoatzot, or toanot, or whatever you want to call our halakhically knowledgeable women, to take a leading role in helping young girls deal with sexual abuse. When a girl is courageous enough to step forward with her story, it is entirely immodest for her to tell the details of her abuse or rape to a beit-din of men. Instead, women with halakhic authority must be available to the exclusion of men, ordained or otherwise, to hear a young girl's story and then to advocate on her behalf. Every girl I've spoken with who has survived sexual abuse has gone through a wrenching crisis of faith. Our girls need female role models to guide them in restoring their faith in God and in the community that has neglected them. Most often, sexual abuse happens right in the home. There are no front-page stories, no authorities to consult, rabbinic or otherwise. There is no drama. There's just a girl who must remain in the home or in the community where she is being abused and face her abuser, and often her abusers, every day. She cannot escape her horror. When she acts out and gets addicted to drugs or alcohol or becomes promiscuous, we expel her from our yeshivot and throw her away. Instead, we need to create a safe place for our girls where they can receive emotional and religious guidance. Nobody joins the Childhood Sexual Abuse Club by choice. All of the members in this group were forced or coerced or manipulated into it. Children fabricate sexual abuse less than 1% of the time. So if a child tells you she's been molested, believe her, and then please help her. I didn't speak up for myself as a child, and I suffered alone in silence. Until now. Kol Rena, Yeshua. Only my voice can save me. Perhaps along the way, it can help other girls like me. I will not waste another moment of my life feeling ashamed. I am surviving sexual abuse with the help of supportive family and friends who tonight have sacrificed their own privacy and who have extended themselves well beyond their own comfort zone to help me recover. I have absolutely no words to express my gratitude to my wonderful family and friends who are supporting me tonight. I know that families can hurt one another, but they can heal each other as well. And as Job says, Et hatov yekabel me'et Hashem, ve'et hara lo yekabel. here for different reasons. Some of you have begun to hear more about sexual abuse in the Orthodox community and are curious and interested in hearing more. Perhaps you are especially eager to learn how to protect your own children and grandchildren from abuse. Others might want to know how to help a friend or relative who was abused. But I want to talk to the people sitting here tonight who know firsthand about childhood sexual abuse. Perhaps for you, much of what I've said sounds eerily familiar and hits very close to home. So I want to say to you that it wasn't your fault. I'm saying you deserved better. If you feel damaged, I'm saying that you are whole just the way you are. If you feel discarded and neglected, I'm saying that you are precious. And if you're wondering whether you should tell your story, I'm saying yes. Your time is now. Don't be ashamed, and don't be afraid. Join me in saying enough is enough. Thank you.